Hey everybody, and welcome to AniBreak, the show where we break down the week's topics in anime, manga, and video games. My name's Jason, and this week we have some news just straight out of Aniplex. They just finished off their live stream not too long ago. We'll get to some of that information in just a moment. We also have some information about some upcoming movies. We have some upcoming video games, including a sequel that should prove very interesting, at least for those of you who have a Nintendo 3DS. I remember a little game that inspired the meme "Nice Boat," but that's for later on in the program. Let's kick off what was announced during the Aniplex live stream that just ended a short while ago, like I stated. Looks like we do have an English dub cast for Kill La Kill, and few characters we'll talk about real quick. Erica Mendez is going to be voicing Ryoko Matoi. Carrie Karanen is going to be voicing Satsuki. If you never heard of those two, well, Erica is she's only been around for a little while. If you guys are fans of Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, you might hear her voice as Aladdin in that series. She did a couple roles in Blood Lad, and that's about it. Some video games. Not much here and there, but this should be... I'm always curious to see how fresh new talent works out on this. For Carolyn, she's been around a little longer. She was in Berserk. She was in Fate Zero. She's also in Magi, the Magic Users Club. You most likely will recognize her voice as Mommy from the Madoka series and, of course, the Madoka movies. If you want to go back even farther, she was also in Slayer's Revolution. Good times back in the day. So between these two, I'm actually looking forward to see what they're going to do with the English dub. Some well-known names are rounding out the list. Christy Marie Cavanos is Mako. That should be hilarious. David Vincent should be good as Senketsu. And of course, Matt Mercer, Mikisugi. I think he's going to be fantastic in that role. They also announced a little bit of information regarding how they're going to be releasing this film or this series in the States. And it's both good and bad depending on how you look at it. So they're going to release the series in 3 versions. First off, there's going to be a limited edition Blu-ray DVD combo pack with soundtracks included. There will also be a standard Blu-ray and a standard DVD set. The entire series is not going to be released all at once, though. That's the key. It's going to be released in 5 volumes with 4 episodes each. We're getting a little closer to how they do things over in Japan. First volume will be released July 15th. Pre-orders start later on this week on the Aniplex website. Limited edition first volume will go for about $75. Standard Blu-ray will probably about $50-$60. DVD $30 to $40. So you got to think, if you just get the regular Blu-ray set and you're gonna get all 5 volumes, you're gonna be paying over the course of probably a year or 2, depending on how fast they actually will release these volumes. You'll overall be paying about $250. If you want to go for the premium, you'll pay a little bit more than that. Honestly, though, I'm perfectly fine with that price. I mean, I could be completely in the minority with that, but if they decide to offer this in one giant set, I think a lot of people will be turned off by that price. If you guys remember what happened with Fate Zero when they announced the box set, it was what, $400 or $500 for that one. This one, I think, if you spread it out over several months, I think is a better idea. And also, you can pre-order it now. If you guys want to have a glimpse of what to expect from the English dub itself will premiere at that major event at Anime Expo coming in July. That is also going to host the original story and script writer, the character designer, the animation director, the producer, some of the voice actresses, the theme song performer, and I'm guessing we'll probably have a few of the English dub actors and actresses joining as well. That is going to be one hell of an event at Anime Expo. I'm still kind of a little miffed. You got to pay a little. You have to get a ticket aside from your badge into the convention if it wasn't already expensive enough. But I'm sure many of you will find your way there. So it should be entertaining nonetheless. Moving on, Netflix actually posted something on Twitter a little while ago that I was really stoked to see. They announced that they will be flying the Skull and Crossbones this summer. That's right. If you guys remember, we've been talking about for a while, in like mid to late 2013, Toei Animation did a CG adaptation of Captain Harlock. Well, what's great about this is it's coming all the way to Netflix. August 1st, it'll be available. It is a blast. If you guys have never, read the manga or watched the anime, it's a bit on the old side, so you may be hesitant to watch it. But this is, full-on 3D CG, so I think you're going to have an absolute blast with this one when it comes out later on this year. If you can't wait that long, you can get it on DVD and Blu-ray, but you're looking anywhere between probably $10 and $40 for it. Nothing too bad, but honestly, it'll be well worth it. And I'm glad to see Netflix starting to get more and more into the, at least into the anime scene somehow with that. I know they also have the stream of Knights of Sidonia going on later on this summer. That season is going on right now, but we're not getting any simulcast. I'm guessing mostly for the fact that Netflix paid for the exclusive rights to that. Why, however, if they were to pay for that and then not simulcast it, who the hell knows? We'll have to find out later on. Some other news that I'm really happy for, but I also question how it's being brought. I am a big fan of this franchise. I can't even really call it a series. It really is a franchise now. Of Tenchi Muyo. And even though I'm a big fan, Michael is an even bigger fan. You should ask him next time we have an episode of From Mother's Basement. Ask him about his tattoo. But yes, Tenchi Muyo is returning in a brand new series. Unfortunately, it's not what you think. Representatives from the city of Takahashi in Okayama Prefecture announced that they are raising money to fund this brand new series. It's going to set for 50 episodes. That's going to be amazing. The downside being, they're only 5 minutes each. So this is basically more of a tourism thing. They want to hope that fans will come on a pilgrimage to see the setting of the anime. This is just a giant tourist bait trap. But you know what? It's Tenchi Muyo. It will grab a significant amount of people. I can guarantee that. The thing is, though, come on, 5 minutes? Tenchi Muyo is like a household name for, most anime fans. So, oh well. All I can hope is if these things go off without a hitch and they actually bring a lot of revenue to this town, who knows? Maybe we'll actually get another series out of this. I would be so freaking happy for that. Cannot wait for more information about that. I know we're going through all this really quick. It's going to be a relatively short show. I have to work on some AMV judging for Anime Expo later on tonight, and let's face it, that's like 10 plus hours of judging, so you may think, oh, it's so much fun. There's reasons why I have alcohol nearby to keep me going throughout this. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. Sentai Filmworks, they announced at a convention last weekend called MomoCon that they are going to release, and in some cases re-release, a couple series with an English dub. We have Sunday Without God, which was a very odd series. Maid-sama, which I absolutely loved. It was tons of fun. Even though they already released it on DVD in just the English subtitles, I was perfectly fine with that. I may have to buy this again just to check out the English dub. And more recently, Outbreak Company. That's a series I think could actually work very well in English. If you've never seen an episode of it, you should head over to Crunchyroll after this show and check it out. Of course, they announced a few other box sets that will be released later on this holiday season. High School of the Dead, Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. That's a fun one. I do have to say, on that note, there are a few things that just come out here in the States. That's going to make a lot of people go broke. I'm already broke because I just came back from a fantastic trip, so I can't buy these yet. Tenjo Tenge, the DVD Complete Collection is out. The Deers DVD Complete Collection. Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions. The DVD complete collection is available now for about $50. Probably can get around 40, 45 if you search online a bit. A couple bits of manga that's come out. The Attack on Titan Colossal Edition, that big old omnibus thing that we talked about a few weeks back, is now out. A few updates on like Batum, High School DxD, the graphic novel. I think Volume 1 just came out as well. There's a number of things that just recently came out over the past week. In terms of video games, though, Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs just recently came out. I hope to get that very soon. I've been looking forward to that ever since they announced it at E3 a few years back. Cannot wait. And also for you Nintendo fans, Mario Kart 8 recently was released. So this is a very expensive time just before summer to get the information out there for you. For those of you who have an excess of funds that you want to go out and spend something. But yeah, going back, so Sentai Filmworks is going to re-release a couple series with an English dub. We'll find out information about that probably around Anime Expo. So you guys know I am a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell. And you guys know how much of a fan I became again after watching an episode of Ghost in the Shell Arise. I was hesitant at first, but after I watched some actual footage of the first OVA episode, it actually blew my mind. It was an amazing bit. So what's nice about this is that we have a new trailer for episode 3, or Border 3 as they call it. This one's called Ghost Tears. Let's check out this new trailer. We're getting that good amount of action sequences in there. Getting a little on the darker side. We're not going to see too much, apparently, of like the Logicomas this time around. They're always fun and cute. But for this time around, this episode has a contract killer who falls in love with his target, which is a cyborg. Maybe similar to this next bit, maybe not. There is a new character named Akira Hose, who is actually going to be Motoko's lover. Okay, this should be interesting. Looks like there's also going to be a section of the team dealing with a terrorist bombing at a dam and a secretive so-called Ultra Wizard level hacker, only known as Firestarter. So we'll have to see how this all works out. The little bit of music you heard at the beginning of that trailer is called Heart Grenade. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is actually who wrote / sung that song. His name is Sean Lennon. He's actually the son of the late musician John Lennon and artist Yoko Ono. Interesting choice, surprisingly. I'm very curious to see how Sean teamed up with Cornelius for this for the full track. I'll definitely be picking up this album, as I have been already, for everything else that comes out for Ghost in the Shell. So we don't have too much longer to wait for this episode. It opens up in Japan June 28th. It'll show up about a month later on Blu-ray and DVD. And of course, as we've talked about before, Funimation's picked up the rights to this entire OVA series, and we will not only get a limited edition subtitled only version coming out probably around July, August, but they're also going to be excuse me, they're also planning to screen the first 2 episodes in a limited theatrical run later on this year. I know we spoke about that a few weeks ago. I'm absolutely stoked for that. So, let's back it up a little bit. Let's get away from the news for a moment. I do want to mention something about a poll that I read. Anime News Network had the article about it, saying in a recent survey, a lot of fans have been asked what makes them disappointed about a live-action adaptation, whether it be a TV series, a drama, or movie, of their favorite anime or manga. And some of the reasons, they're not really too much of a surprise. Appearance of a previously non-existing character. They add characters to the story for no reason. Excessive or poor use of special effects. Many adaptations were prone to this. And of course you have bad acting, faithfulness to the original, and the casting. Here's the thing though. I'm always willing to give like these live action adaptations a shot, but I go into them knowing I'm not going to get what I already know. Yeah, I don't know. There are very few examples of where they've gotten it right. But there's many, many, many examples, even ones that were made over here in the States, of how they did it and got it completely, completely wrong. And I hate to say these two words together because it makes me cringe every time I hear them. Dragon Ball Evolution. I think it has to be one of the worst adaptations I have ever seen. Many people actually voted it as the biggest live action adaptation failure. Just because when you get like the original creator of the series to say, it's curious to see how they're going to create their own universe, parallel universe to everything that we've created in the franchise. Also known as they went off the fucking plot and decided we're going to do things our way. We're going to try to take what we know would be amazing because we bought the license and the rights to actually create this film, but we're going to modify it. We're going to modernize it. We're going to make it for the Western audiences. And that's where it fails. Well, at least for Dragon Ball Evolution. But even with the live action adaptations that take place over in Japan, not all the time they get it right. There's several aspects of usually character development that usually gets thrown away in order to bring out a new love interest, or they want to make a like an M. Night Shyamalan, what a twist kind of thing. I don't get it sometimes. I know that adaptations are big, big money over in Japan. Hell, I can't think of any other country that'll take some of their most popular franchises and instead of just making them a live action TV drama or a movie, they turn them and make them into musicals. Like full-fledged musicals that have no reason of becoming a musical. Sports anime becoming a musical. Okay, Sailor Moon I guess could easily become a musical. It has been done several times before. But I don't know. It's definitely big money for us, a certain country. Even though a majority of the fans really, really don't like it. The problem is those fans, they're not the reason why those movies were made. I can't say the same for Dragon Ball Evolution because they kind of knew going into this that a bunch of the current generation grew up watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So we should have definitely a hardcore audience that wants this, and we're gonna make it the American way. No, it didn't even need to be made. But I don't know. I saw this survey put out. I saw this article on ANN, and I had to give my 2 cents on it. I know you guys have your own opinions about this. I know that some of you may really enjoy these adaptations, and some of you probably absolutely abhorred them. I can agree with both sides depending on what the adaptation we're talking about. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of how vocal I guess you can call it the minority is on how bad these adaptations turn out, they're apparently making more than enough money for each of these production companies to go out there and say, you know what? Some of these people are not going to like it. They're going to be very vocal about it, but we're going to make more than enough money to make back at least our initial investment and probably then some. So you know what? Screw them. We're going to keep on going on. All right. How it's going to work. HBO in the chat. Godzilla the musical. Although I will have to say, checking out the latest Godzilla film, they got Godzilla right in my mind. They kept it to pretty much the same formula that worked out very well over in Japan. They added a couple thematic elements into it, but overall the feel, the action, the tension, it was a great slow burn that had an excellent payoff. So it can be done. They just can't do it with humans. They have to do it with giant CG monsters, unless they were in rubber suits, but that's back in the day. All right. We can move on to some other news real quick. Let's go to Anime Expo. It was announced recently that a new guest is entering the lineup for AX, and it's going to be the co-creator of Mega Man and so many other great games from Capcom. We are talking about Kenji Inafune. He will be there as a guest of honor. He will be having a Q&A session. He will also host a few autograph sessions as well. I mean, everything this guy's worked on over the past 25 years. Over 60 titles. Everything from obviously Mega Man to Onimusha, Dead Rising. All like the pretty major titles from Capcom. He left them, pretty spectacularly in 2010. Created his own company called Capt, and they through a massive Kickstarter, they raised almost $4 million for their, I guess we can call it spiritual successor to Mega Man called Mighty Number 9. I cannot wait to check that one out. So I can imagine there's going to be at least a decent number of cosplayers of all the characters that he's worked with. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Some other Anime Expo news. Funimation made the announcement they're going to be streaming the upcoming summer series Terror in Resonance. This one teams up again Shinichiro Watanabe and excuse me, and Yoko Kanno together, the classic Cowboy Bebop duo, to work on this one. This will premiere, the first episode will premiere at Anime Expo. It also will premiere the same weekend at Japan Expo in Paris. This should be I can't really call it a fun series, but then again, I'm kind of twisted. So the idea behind this one, it's an alternate version of the present. Tokyo has been decimated by a major terrorist attack. And the only hint to the identity of the culprit is a bizarre video uploaded to the internet. Let's check out this new trailer, shall we? Curious to see how that one's going to turn out. I do love a good thriller. I'm curious to see what this popular duo can put together. I know Yoko Kanno can create some masterful worlds with her music, so you do something a little dark and sinister like this, I think it's going to be a major series. I cannot wait for this one. You'll definitely see me at that premiere. Let's get on to some gaming news real quick, shall we? Looks like Psycho Pass is getting a brand new game. Unfortunately, this one's only going to be on the Xbox One. It's going to be based around the first 5 or 6 episodes of the TV series of Season 1. Kind of cool they're bringing this out. We've already discussed it in the past that not only is Psycho Pass Season 1 getting a rebroadcast, it's going to be a little remix with a couple additional scenes. Have this game in there as a tie-in before Season 2 starts, and we'll also get that movie later on. I cannot wait for that. There is a trailer out there, but honestly, it's just a rehash of what happened in those first 6 episodes. I don't want to give anything away if you guys have not seen it, except you guys should really, really go watch that series. It was amazing. But that wasn't the major game that caught my eye from 5PB. There is another game coming out in their science adventure game series. And looks like this one we've talked before. It's called Chaos Child, and we have a new trailer for it. Let's check it out, shall we? That's kind of a creepy desktop to have there. So yes, this is the 4th in this game. The trailer was initially made for the Xbox One, but I believe they'll also be available later on for the PC. So the idea behind this one, they wanted to keep a sense of dread. They want to keep the same sense of like those old school Japanese horror films, unlike previous installations of this series, where it was very moving and fast paced. Kind of like robotics notes. So for this one, the story behind it is there's a massive 7.8 earthquake in Tokyo Shibuya Ward in 2009. A black fire spreads and causes mass panic on the day of the earthquake. The sudden disaster became known as the Shibuya earthquake, killed almost 4,000 people and injured 30,000 more. The game, however, is set several years later in October 2015. And a string of mysterious deaths occur in Shibuya amidst the reconstruction of that district. People begin to take notice as the strange events start on the same day that chaos broke out in Shibuya with a certain incident, 5 years earlier. The events are going to be called the return of the new generation madness. The major key part of this story is going to be something called the power seals. They're placed all around Shibuya. They may be key to unraveling the events, the mysteries of these new generation incidents. So I'm very curious to see how this one's going to turn out. I'm really hoping, like some of the previous iterations of this series, it'll get an actual release over here in the States. But for now, it's only to be slated to ship in Japan later on this year. You can check out more information online. I'm sure you can pre-order it very soon. But yeah, as far as actually getting any confirmation that it's coming out over here anytime soon, unless you're importing it and you can read and understand Japanese, it's going to be a while. Last but not least, you guys remember School Days? A very, very infamous visual novel series that had some unique endings. If you played your cards right or wrong, depending on how you look at it. There was also the infamous nice boat scene. If you guys, you can search online for School Days Nice Boat and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. I have played the game. I've gotten several different endings, including the very, very grotesque one, which was actually kind of hilarious. I'm just twisted like that. But it looks like that we're not anywhere near close to finishing up with these girls, because there's going to be a follow-up to this series called Island Days. This is going to be, for right now, on the Nintendo 3DS. It's a dating sim / romance game. Takes place on a tropical island. Maybe they did arrive by a nice boat. Who knows? It did get a not really harsh, but a semi-harsh rating, C rating, which means you have to be 15 years or older over in Japan in order to purchase the game. And you know what? Let's check out the opening video, shall we? So, should we start taking bets on how many people are going to be brutally murdered in this version? It's a love dating romance sim game / survival with some psychotic women. But they love you. Sega fan, there better be a hot coffee mod. Well played. Yeah, it'll be curious to see how that one's going to turn out. Yeah, I'm fully expecting Jest USA to pick this one up as soon as possible, so we'll see. But you know what, guys? That's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out, as always. Start getting your suggestions for the Moment of Zen into the chat right now. You can catch us, well, I can't even say every Wednesday anymore, because there's a good chance next Wednesday I will be busy, so we will have an episode next week, but it'll either be Tuesday or Thursday. So follow me on Twitter and Facebook at OtakuLife Jason. I'll let you guys know as much advanced time as possible, but there will be an episode next week. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for post show, and yeah, for AniBreak, I'm Jason. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.